If you've ever finished a glute workout and thought, I really did not feel my glutes fire up at all, and more so I felt it in my quads or my back was on fire, your glutes aren't being activated. So we're gonna fix that today. So welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Jen Sarbone, and I help women achieve their dream bodies through healthy and sustainable, practical practices. And today we're gonna talk all about your glute workout. So here's what's actually happening. Your body has been running the same movement patterns for years while walking, working, weight training. So suddenly when you decide I wanna grow my booty, it's not gonna just happen automatically. The problem is the way you're trying to fix it is to go heavier, go faster, do more. And that's not actually fixing the underlying issue. So we're gonna clean this up in 3 easy steps: activation, tempo, and your setup. So let's get into it. Tip 1 is basic activation. So let's say we were doing a squat or a hip thrust. We're not gonna jump right into the heavy weight and the hard weight right away. Why? Because doing the heavy and hard stuff without activating the glutes first is just gonna reinforce the problem. Think about it. If I was to go right into a squat and I'm thinking about all these variables, tucking my core, breathing, proper form, and then on top of that, I have to think about activating my glutes, it's just not gonna happen. There's too many things going on. Your brain is not gonna absorb anything, and that's why your body is compensating with other muscles. First, we're gonna start with floor work. If you're in the 30-day challenge, you already know your specific dynamic warm-ups and activations for you. If you're not in the challenge, here are the best practices. So let's do it. 3 dynamic stretches that you can use right now. Number 1 is called a couch stretch. Typically, people do this as a static stretch, meaning they'll do it in place after a workout. I like it before a workout if I'm moving with it, because dynamic stretches are important. You have to get the blood flowing. So I'm gonna find either a surface behind me. If not, the wall is just fine. I'm gonna get on my hands and knees and literally just gonna put one foot flat against the wall, and then one leg is gonna come up. I'm leaning into it. This is gonna stretch your entire hip flexor and your quad. And if you wanna take it a step forward, you're gonna stretch over like this, but you wanna lean and release, because remember, it's a dynamic stretch. You wanna do about 6 on each side. Other foot comes up, comes back, next foot comes up. Same thing. And as you're warming up, you wanna take very exaggerated deep inhales through the nose. Really send oxygen to your lungs. Okay, the next stretch I really like to do, this is great for your lower back and inner thighs. I believe it's called a jackknife, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna get on my knees. I'm gonna bring my foot as much out to the side as possible. Now you can either hold a heavy kettlebell or just use your palm facing forward. Your chest is gonna wanna go this way. Don't let it. And you're just gonna lean and release. Lean and release. You can do 6 on each side. Next one, I don't know what this is called either. I call it a half pigeon pose. So you're gonna get on your hands and knees. One foot comes out to the side, toe in the floor. You're gonna lean into that glute and just move and release. You're gonna feel your inner hips, your glute, your back. Six on each side. Okay, 2 glute activation moves are gonna be banded glute bridges and banded clamshells. You can use a moderate band. This one's actually pretty heavy, but the first thing that I wanna do is just put this above my knees and get in a glute bridge position. So it's like you're doing a hip thrust just on the floor. This might be a little too tight, but we'll see how it goes. Feet are always externally rotated. Butt is pretty close to your heels. I'm gonna lay down flat, hands down to support me. And I'm just gonna push up as high as I can, belly nice and flat. And I'm holding for 5 seconds until you feel that burn. And come down slow, 1, 2, 3. Up, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down, 1, 2, 3. And as you start to feel it, you could hold it for a little less. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You're coming up and you're coming down 1 vertebrae at a time. Perfect. I'm sure you felt that. Next activation is a banded clamshell. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like without a band, and then I'm gonna show you a version that it looks like with the band. You can try both and see what you like, or start with the non-banded version and go into the banded version. 2 rounds of 15 each. So I'm gonna get on my side. Some people like to lay. I like to be on my forearm and hand on my hip, feet together, bringing it in and knees bent. And I'm going to lift simultaneously, lifting up and out. And I'm gonna hold for 5 and come back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm doing 5 for demonstration purposes, but you wanna do 2 sets of 10 to 15. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. To me, this is harder than the actual workout, but it's much, much, much needed. 1 more. All right. Now the version with the booty bands, because this is such a heavy booty band, I can't even get all the way up. So what you can do with the bands is keep your legs rested on the side, and you're just gonna lift this one up. Hold for 5. 4 and 5. Burns. I'm gonna show you the other way just so you could see my booty activating, so you could see how it works. Hand on the hip if you like. Up. 4 and 5. So my butt is actually turned on. Let's get into the next tip. So just like the activation movements, we're gonna take it up a notch. And this is really great too if, let's say, you were doing hip thrusts, you would warm up and then you would do maybe a light dumbbell set first, and then you would transition into the barbell if your glutes are not used to being activated. So with that being said, I'm gonna take this band, and you don't have to use a band, it's just for added tension. You could totally just use your feet and it'll be fine. And then I'm just gonna take like a very light dumbbell. As you could tell, the activation was already quite slow, but we're doing the same thing in real time with weights. Same exact thing, I'm gonna sit in a glute bridge, feet externally rotated, butt close to my heels. And I'm just gonna put a dumbbell into my lap. So same thing, I'm gonna come up 1, I'm gonna hold 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna come down 1, 2, 3. And honestly, I look like a fool, but half the time, I just close my eyes, focus on my breath, and I really just pretend that I have $1 million winning lotto ticket in my butt cheeks. And once you know you're not feeling your legs, you're not feeling your back, you're doing it right. Step 3 is your setup. Your setup might be off and it might be sabotaging the feeling in the glutes. So if we're talking hip thrust, I did my dynamic warm up, my glute activation. I did a light round of dumbbell movements in a bridge. Now I'm gonna get into an actual barbell hip thrust. I went ahead and grabbed a tire because I'm very, very short. But most of the time you'll use a bench typically. The idea is to make sure that your shoulder blades are touching on the surface. Also, you wanna have flat shoes. So I know Hoka's and New Balance and all these chunky shoes are in and they're super adorable. But whenever you're doing hip thrusts, deadlifts, RDLs, You want very flat lifting shoes. I did not wear mine. So I'm gonna take my shoes off and I want my feet to be nice and flat. As I was saying, shoulder blades should be against the tire. You want to make sure you have some kind of pad to protect your hips. And the same thing, you're gonna set up like a hip thrust. Your feet are externally rotated. Your heels are somewhat close to your glutes. You wanna find your footing, hold the sides, and you're going to thrust up, right? So if I'm holding this at the top, my stomach should be so flat that you can eat your next meal like on my stomach. That's what I wanna see. You are tucking your tailbone and your ribs should not be flared. So it's almost like you're making a small tuck. And then lastly, your knees should be aligned with your toe. So if you look at my knee to toe placement, it should almost look like a straight line. And you'll know if you don't feel it in your glutes, it's because they're too far out or they're too much in. I don't have clips on here, so I'm gonna be careful. Thrusting up, stomach flat, ribs tucked, tailbone tucked. Hold, 1, 2, down, 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now, as a bonus, if you really struggle to feel things in your glutes, you can always do a half rep. But you want to keep in mind the time under tension. So if you do it in the way I'm about to show you, you're going to get a crazy burn. So you're here, same thing, coming up all the way. Instead of letting your butt touch all the way down, you're just going to stop halfway. 1, 2, 3, push. 1, 2, 3, push. 1, 2, 3, push. Notice my chin is super, super tucked as well. You don't want to bend your head back because that could be pretty dangerous. If you're doing this and it still feels inconsistent, good. It just means you're finally working on the right thing. Most women don't do this. I promise this will click for you. If you're in my 13-day challenge, you already know. Can't wait to see you for tomorrow, day 14. For those of you viewing me on YouTube, if you want me to walk this through step by step, that's why I created a 30-day glute challenge. We're gonna go through how to fix your movements, how to activate your glutes properly, and how to build them from there. I'll link it in the description below. If this helped you, it would be great if you can like, share, and subscribe, leave a comment below, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.